out of it.
All right, so is it time for folks to just snap out of it, shed their fears, and just stop this panicking? Well, my next guest thinks so. He's financial radio talk show host Danny Fontana. Danny is also senior partner with Triune Capital Advisors. So you say we're getting ahead of ourselves, Danny? What are we doing?
Yeah, Neil, I worry that there's so much fear out there, and people confuse the emotions. Fear and greed are the two motivating factors on Wall Street, and basically people react at the wrong time to the wrong emotion. You just heard the guy with the restaurants telling you that people alter their spending patterns. A guy won't order an appetizer. You know, if he won't order an appetizer, how in the world is he going to buy stocks at the right time? You know, we had a 1,000-point move down, and it's basically the goods go on sale and everybody runs out of the store, and it's because I think Wall Street scares the heck out of people.
Yeah, I would still get the appetizer, by the way, Danny. But let me ask you about the mood then. Fear compounds fear, anxiety compounds anxiety, and it's sort of like a trickling effect, right?
Yeah, and I think the media bears a large responsibility for this. You know, I say all the time on my shows that, you know, that Wall Street loves to prove that they're the smartest guys in the room, you know, and they use a whole bunch of jargon that ends up sounding like gobbledygook to the average investor. I actually heard this morning, Neil, on another network, I heard a guy use the term convexity and gamma. Now I'm thinking to myself, how in the world is the average investor going to understand what a price to earnings multiple is if he's trying to deal with convexity and gamma?
What network were you watching? What network were you watching, Danny? Fess up.
It was CNBC.
Ah, there, I thought so. Okay. Very smart people, though, over there. All right, let me get your sense of where we go from here, because you're right. In every market crisis, people sell first, ask questions later. And I'm wondering whether this was an inflection point today, or we're still, you know, inclined to shoot first, ask questions later. What do you think?
Well, I think clearly there's an area of volatility here that still exists. A half point move down in the discount rate, while important psychologically, you know, I think that the Fed's probably got other things to do in terms of the Fed funds rate in order to restore complete confidence. But the point is, I think that people, you know, dealing with emotions today, trying to make investment decisions is the wrong way to go. I think if somebody is 30 or 40 or 50 years of age, and clearly they've got 10, 20, 30 years to go, the question that we need to be asking today is not, is the Dow a value at 13 today? Is it a value at 13, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now? If you simply ask the question, and I never hear anybody ask it, where do you think the Dow is in 10 years, higher or lower than 13,000? I think it's a pretty obvious answer. It's going to be much higher than 13,000. So why don't we get people to try to focus on the 10 years rather than the 10 minutes?
You know, very wise advice, Danny. Thank you very much. Danny Fontana in Charlotte, obviously watching the wrong network, but we'll forgive Danny on that one. Another one's coming in just a couple of months. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Who says you can't make money in this housing market? Kim Kiyosaki on how you can turn panic into profit. Next.
Is on Fox News Channel weekends.